Hey everybody, welcome to the next worship training video. I'm going to do a short series talking about music theory. I have two goals with this. First, I want to teach you about key structure, and second, I want to help you understand how to transpose from one key to another. Transpose just simply means how to change from one key to another. So let's say you have a song that's in the key of G and you want it to be in the key of E. I want to show you how to do that. From the outside, music theory can sound very confusing and seem like impractical and not applicable at all. But in reality, it's not that confusing if you use your brain just a little bit. And I'm going to try my best to make it kind of simple and applicable. And it is very, very beneficial to understand. It will help you as a musician. And it's very applicable, especially in our worship and band context. As a side note to you drummers and singers, some of this may seem a bit foreign, especially if you don't play like piano or guitar or bass, but pay attention and watch these if you can. It will be beneficial because it will help you in communicating with the team, especially when they're talking about keys and how different chords and songs go together within a set. In this first video, I'm going to talk about just a few basic musical terms. Some of these you probably heard, but I want to lay a good foundation and make sure we're all on the same page for the second video in the series when we actually talk about keys and transposing. The first three terms we're going to talk about are notes, chords, and keys. A note is an individual sound or pitch or tone. On a guitar, a note is just one string played at a time. That was a D note. On a piano, it's playing one key at a time. And for a singer, it's just singing la, that's a note. A chord is a group of two or more notes played simultaneously. They can be any notes put together, for the most part. A key is a group of 7 specific notes put together. It's different than a chord. It's not just random notes, but a key is 7 specific notes. So on a guitar, actually with any musical thing, a key is made up of the major scale. Okay? As an example, here is the G major scale on a guitar. Or you could play the G major scale on a piano. Or when a singer sings do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That wasn't very pretty, but that makes up the major scale when they sing those words. And it's from those notes that we make up a key. And we can take those notes and then make up the chords that fit within a key. And we'll talk more about that in the second video. So we have notes, chords, and key. And a key is made up of 7 specific notes. The next 3 terms we're going to learn are sharp, flat, and octave. Sharp just means a higher pitch or a higher sound. Okay, so here is a D note on a guitar. If we move up higher, we get a D sharp. Okay, so it's sharp or it's higher. And that's symbolized when you write it out as a number sign. Flat is the next term, and flat means lower pitch or lower sounding. Okay, so here again is a D note. If we move flat or move lower, you get a D flat. Okay, it's a lower sound. And that's symbolized by a lowercase b. The next term we have is octave. An octave, kind of harder, but I'll demonstrate it in a second. An octave is the span from one note to another note of the same name. Or basically, it's the same letter name, but just higher or lower. Okay, so we have, let's say, again, a D note. Up here is also a D note, but it's a higher octave, or it's higher sounding. Or another way to say it, it's an octave above. Okay, again, here's D, and then here's another D. But it's a lower sounding D, so it's a lower octave or it's an octave below. So we have sharp, flat, and octave. Our last 2 terms are half step, also known as a semitone, and a whole step, also known as a whole tone. A half step is just moving over from one note to the immediate following note. So on a guitar, that's represented by moving over 1 fret. So say from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret. On a piano, that's moving over 1 key. So if you played a C note, a half step over, a half step higher would be a C sharp, which is that next black note. A whole note is 2 half steps put together. So on a guitar, that's represented by 2 frets, so moving from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret. And on a piano, it's moving over 2 keys. So starting with a C, going up to the C sharp, and then up one more time to the D. That's 2 keys over from C to D. Those are our last terms for today. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. Also, watch this again if any of this was confusing, as I'll be using most of these terms in our next video. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys soon.